everybody. Welcome back to the Blck Impact podcast. I am Tiffany, your host. And if this is your first time watching me today, thank you so much for joining the experience. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe, guys. We're on all streaming platforms. Also, if this isn't your first time, thank you so much for coming in back and tuning in. And guys, guess what? We have a special guest today, guys. We have Nia Danielle from Your Favorite Auntie podcast. Hey.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. So, I want to tell you a little bit about Nia, okay? So, Nia, she is an author, a speaker, an entrepreneur from Houston, Texas, okay? She is passionate about helping women and teens and girls walk confidently in their purpose. She is a self-published 5 books devoted to women focusing on their purpose, discovery, and spiritual growth. Nia is also the founder of the I Am Purpose Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping young women build self-worth and confidence. And also, she is the CEO of Purpose Matters. Where you guys know her from, I just let you guys know, she is also the co-host of Your Favorite Auntie podcast. Give it up for Nia, everybody. She has accomplished so much, guys. Yes. I bet you guys didn't know she got 5 books.
Yeah, little known fact, right? Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your about you. And I know I just gave you a big old intro, but I want to know Nia. We want to know who Nia is.
You know what? At my core, I love God, and I'm also just a girl's girl. And so as you're like listening to the different things that I do and I focus on, all of it is going to be centered around women and teens and girls, because I know what my life was like growing up. I know what my life is like now as a grown woman. And I'm so passionate about just helping women along. So whether they're young and figuring it out, grown and figuring it out, there's so many different areas of life to cover and to just be encouraged in. That's one thing that I'm super passionate about, just to encourage people. You're not alone. You know, we're all going through similar things. We can join together. We can be unified, but ultimately we need to be living out our purpose. So that's me.
Yay. I love that. I love that you give back to the community and helping young women, because we need that so much in the Black community today. We have a lot of lost souls, and we just need a lot of women to be able to have that experience and be able to guide women. Sure. I mean, the youth, basically. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna start giving you some questions. I have a lot of questions. Okay, so what's a moment in your life where you looked at confidence, but your self-worth was actually low?
So, many who know my story, when I was young, I did not have a lot of confidence. I've always been very introverted, but in addition to being introverted, I just didn't believe in myself. I didn't know that I carried a certain grace, a certain amount of strength, or even just something that could help the world. I didn't know that my voice mattered. So while I was shy, I was also I just had low confidence. Now, you know, I was always, a cute girl, like she's cute, she's pretty, and so that's been great. And you can list out all these accomplishments because I really put myself into accomplishing goals because that's what made me feel good. But in the midst of every award, every goal, every, accomplishment that I met, a lot of times I personally couldn't even celebrate it to its fullness because I didn't know who I was and how much greatness I had inside of me. So there's definitely just like a misconception that just because you look good and you're accomplishing things that you
Right.
have it all
Yeah.
together. And that
Yeah, it
has
is.
definitely not been the case for me. I'm doing much better now just through therapy and
Yeah.
just my faith. But for a long time, well into my 20s, I lacked confidence. And so
Mhm.
I'm super grateful to be here now. It's still a journey though. I have not arrived by any
Yeah.
means. I still have moments where I have to be like, you could do this, girl. Like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about? Like, you are great. You
Right.
can do this. This is inside of you. This is what you're called to do. But it's just something that you have to continue to work on.
Right. Right. And where do you think that lack of confidence came from? Like, did you have any people in your upbringing that you might have felt like that's what you took on, not having confidence? Or do you think it's just in you, like you just automatically like have to have it? Like it's just I don't think that.
No, no, no. I will say, I mean, I had great people in my life, like my
Mhm.
parents and my family, always, always super supportive. What one thing for me, I know for sure is because I was smart, because I was goal driven, I always had to fight against the misconception that I thought I was better. I thought that whole thing, and people always trying to knock you down a notch
Oh
because they
yeah.
don't want you to feel good. So even though
Right.
I would accomplish something, there would be someone, whether it was like a friend or someone at school or, just trying to knock you down a notch so that you don't fully appreciate and celebrate. So that's something I always had to fight against. I've always
Mhm.
been just and what people would call an overachiever. Like I said, I
Mhm.
love goals. I love accomplishing things. I love, doing things. And so as you
Right.
read down the list of like books and nonprofit and business and
Right.
podcast, I've always been like that. And so
Mhm.
it's very important to be around supportive people. But when you're younger, I don't blame
Yeah.
them by any means. We were all young. That definitely played a role in me not feeling fully confident, just my peers.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with what you just said. Like I did have people growing up trying to knock down my confidence and things of that nature. I don't even know like where that came from or why people do that to other individuals.
Hmm.
And I know it's lack of inside of them. They don't feel good about themselves. So I get that, but why do you got to bring somebody else down with you? That's what I
Hmm.
don't understand.
Yeah, it's a projection. It is a
Yes.
projection for sure. And it's like, oh, if they don't feel good, then I don't
Right.
feel so bad about the way I feel about myself.
Right, right. What Cat Williams say, if you don't got no haters, then you ain't doing enough.
Come on now.
Okay. So when did you realize you were performing confidence instead of actually feeling it?
That is such a good question. I think it took me a while, probably maybe shortly after college, when I started to. So shortly after college, I published my first book, and so that whole like adulthood accomplishment started from there. And I think going into being more public, as an author, and now I'm starting to take speaking engagements, and
Mhm.
that it plays on you because you
It
have to
does.
be confident. You
You
have to be
have to.
confident when you hold this microphone because people
Yes.
want to know that they're listening to someone who knows what they're talking about. You can't be up
Right.
there all shy and timid. And so that's when I realized, oh, I need to do some inner work because if this is what God has called me to do, I want to be able to do it in excellence. And I can't if I don't believe it myself.
That's right. Right. I think confidence does mean that you actually have to believe in yourself and believe that you can make a difference and be able to show up for yourself. But if you don't have that, if you don't believe in yourself, then it's you're gonna be the same way. So yeah, I do. I agree with that. Come doing this podcast. So yeah,
The spotlight shows everything, right?
it
That's just like a
does.
light in real life. When you turn
Yeah.
that light on, you're going to see everything. So you want to make sure if you have a light on you, which all of us do, but some of us have
Right.
a bigger light just because
Right.
of our platform, you want to make sure that there's nothing to hide and that whatever the light is illuminating is something that's going to be like a blessing to people.
Right. And did you ever like I struggle with this too sometimes. Like even us being in the spotlight and having this light on us, sometimes it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. Like I don't know if I want to put myself out there or anything like that. Like, but it's like I got to. Like I can't have one foot in and the other foot out. Like, I said I'm gonna do this, so I gotta commit, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been different, especially with the podcast platform. I already had my
Yeah.
personal platform from working with girls with my nonprofit and being an author and a speaker. But the degree at which we are on a platform for your favorite aunties, something
Yes.
totally different. And so it is
Right.
something I always consider. And I take very seriously the platform that we have, the influence that we have, that people are
Yes.
literally listening and making decisions off of what we say. And I
Right.
do not take that lightly. So that's another
Right.
reason why it's like, no, do the work. Do the work.
Right.
This is really important. It's not to be taken lightly.
When you're filming your podcast and things of that nature, when they start to comment, does that confidence play a part in that? Like, do you get drawn in because of it's not good comments or good comments? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I definitely used to. We don't get as much hate as we used to get, but when we
Good.
first started, we used to get a ton of
Ton of
hate.
hate,
Oh my
really?
gosh, it was so bad. Most of it though would be like about our looks, like, oh, y'all are ugly, y'all are fat, y'all are.
What?
And so at first, it was just I was just so taken aback that people who
Mm-hmm.
do not know you will
Right.
see a 30-second, 60-second clip and
Mm-hmm.
go at length to tear you down.
They would, right.
Most of the time, what they were getting from the clip wasn't even what the clip's intention was. But
Right.
then realizing, and we've talked about it a lot on the show, everybody takes things through their own filters. So if
Right.
they have a trauma, if they have a hurt, if they have a trigger, even though I'm saying one thing,
Right.
they are hearing another.
Another.
So
Right.
that really, really helped me not to take those comments so personally. But at
Yeah.
first, yeah, I used to hurt my feelings. Like, I mean, they would
Mm-hmm.
say some really mean stuff,
Stuff.
but
Yeah.
I don't stay in the comments too much
Yeah.
now. I try to respond and definitely focus on the positive. That's what a lot of other influencers have advised us to do as well. Like, focus on the positive. 9 times out of
Yeah.
10, there's way more positive comments than negative.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it still, yeah, definitely impacted me a lot at first.
Yeah. Don't come on here giving out no bad blood or no projecting on anything to us, okay? We are two Black women. We are gorgeous and we are doing it,
That's
okay?
right. That's right. And look, somebody got to do it, and everybody can't do it. So,
Exactly. Don't be mad because you can't do it.
hello.
Okay. So, have you ever outgrown a version of yourself that other people were still comfortable with? Mm.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
that is a good one. I would say, yeah, the transition I just talked about. People who knew me when was younger, even when I started the podcast, would be like, Nia has a podcast? Because
Yeah.
growing up, I was shy. I didn't have a lot of confidence. So I didn't talk that much. And so for people to see me with a microphone with hundreds of thousands of followers, they're like, they don't really know how to take
No.
that.
Right.
But I have to feel confident in that I'm not that girl anymore.
Right.
So I'm a woman now. I've stepped into who I am, what I'm called to do, what my purpose is. And so I can't play small, to
Yeah.
accommodate people who knew me back then who are
Right.
unsure of or not used to the Nia that the world sees now. So yeah, that's been a process too, and just not playing small and just stepping forward, because there's a gap that happens, right? As you begin
Yeah.
to step forward and become successful, then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there's a gap that happens between you and your peers, even sometimes you and your family. So you
Yeah.
definitely have to have a lot of confidence to fill that gap, to know that you're doing the right thing, that you don't have to be who they think you are, and that you are
Mm-hmm.
free to change. We're all evolving, we're all changing, and we should be. So
Yes.
feeling, sure of yourself is
Mm-hmm.
definitely very important too.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm experiencing the same exact thing. I always say to someone, just because you knew me back then, I'm not the same person that was last week, this week, even yesterday. Like, I'm not the same exact person. We grow, we
Mhm.
evolve, and things happen. We make decisions, and we make good decisions, and we move forward. And the goal is to grow and be a better version of yourself. So
Yeah, for sure.
anyone who is trying to say you're not this person or this is what you was back then, the whole thing is that's who I was back then. Okay.
Mhm.
This is what I
Mhm.
am right now.
Mhm. And ultimately, everybody can't accept that, and that's
Yes.
okay. It's really okay. Being okay with letting people stay where they are as you continue to move forward. Don't
Yeah.
stay stuck with people. If
Oh
they
no.
can't evolve and they can't change their mind, you got to
Yeah.
leave them where they at. It's all love, but
Right.
it's important for you to be able to move forward and not be so attached to people that you don't end up doing what you need to do, you know?
Right. I think a lot of people bring up things like that because they don't want to be left behind. But it's like, I won't leave you behind if you on the same pace as me, right?
Come on.
Right. You can't be dragging along. You got to speed up.
Hello. Yeah, you can't slow me down, but you can come
Right.
on.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. What version of you had to die for you to become who you are right now?
Mm. The version of me that had to die is the version of me that um didn't understand how much I mattered. Because even in situations now, like, of course, my confidence has grown, my surety
Yeah.
has grown, and all those different things. I still have moments,
Yeah.
sometimes where I'm like, imposter syndrome, right? Like,
Right.
am I
Yeah.
supposed to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
here? Like, am I supposed to do
Right.
this?
Right.
And so that girl that was unsure though, she had to die for me to be who I am today, for me to step into the fullness of what right now means and even what my future means because she would have held me back. Because
Yeah.
life responds to what you're sure about. I forgot who said that.
Right.
It's a quote, and it's just stuck with me forever. Life responds
Mhm.
to what you're sure about. So if
Mhm.
I'm going to live out everything that I dream of, I have to be sure about it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to give things to somebody who's unsure. Nobody wants to platform somebody who's unsure. I can't
Right.
go into these meetings about what I'm doing in my businesses. Like, are y'all sure you want to? No, I have to be
Right.
in there like, you want to partner with me.
Right.
This is to your benefit.
Right. No,
So
I
that
totally
version,
understand.
yeah, even though she still peeks her head up, like I said, I still have those moments, imposter syndrome, like, is this for me? Am I good enough for
Right.
this? Am I qualified for this? That's
Yeah.
always a continuous process to let her die.
Yeah. I mean, it is hard to put yourself out there and, do the things that you can do. It is so hard.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
you just have to do it. Like, you just have to.
You have to do it anyways. Yeah, people don't talk
Yeah.
about that enough because, like
No,
I
they
said, it
don't.
was like because of social media and just
Yeah.
TV and stuff, you think people have it together.
Right.
Some of the people who you think are probably the most confident are probably some of the least confident people,
Right.
but they just know how to do it afraid.
Right. It's a switch for
You
them.
gotta do it anyways. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So that's why I know some of my followers know I'm very adventurous, and
Mhm.
most people are like, "How?" Because my personality type, I'm very chill,
Mhm.
relaxed, calm. But if I've jumped out of an airplane, I've swimming with
Mhm.
sharks because that's one of my life hacks to just make myself uncomfortable, to put myself in
Yes.
situations that I am scared of because
Right.
then when I'm ready to go into that business meeting, I'm like, okay, I don't have to be afraid. I was just jumping out of an airplane. So it's just like a life
Right.
hack that breaks that wall that can
Yeah.
stop you from being able to do things because you are scared. Because in
Yeah.
life, you have to do it afraid.
Do it. Yeah, you have to. Right.
Mhm.
Doing it scared. Yes. I whew. She's taking everything out of my mouth that I want to say. Do it scared, people. Do it scared.
Mhm.
Did you ever tie beauty to how you were treated? Well, you did say
Yeah,
back then.
especially more so when I was younger.
Mhm.
I was very impressionable, and then I also had not only just like low confidence, but just a low view of like body image. And I grew up like in the 90s. So in the 90s, it was like the magazine girls, the supermodel.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm like, I am 5'3". I'm thick. Like, I
Mhm.
don't look nothing like what the
Them
world
girls.
is currently calling
Right.
pretty. Now all of that has changed now as I've gotten older because now it's social media, thick as
Mhm.
in, and all of that. But that's not what I came up with. So I definitely struggled in the beauty arena. I did not consider myself like a beautiful girl when I was, younger, like middle school or anything like that. But we bless God for the glow up.
That's right. Yep. Yep. I grew up in the 90s as well. I don't know if it had an impact on me. My impact was the size that you have to be, that society has made you, you have to adjust to that. That was my problem. You have to be two to even be noticed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that. No, it's not realistic, because Black people were shaped totally different,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I had to work on my confidence still to this day. Work on that, and then we have to decide what's healthy, what's not healthy. Like, you can have a thick girl over here who is really really healthy, and a skinny girl over here who's not
Yeah.
healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
No,
I
very
hate the
true.
fact that society has put those stipulations on us, period.
Mm-hmm. But confidence impacts how people view you, though,
Yes.
because there are some people who can get away with being a little thicker than the
Right.
average because the way they walk in the room is like, look, I got it, and you
Right.
want it. So,
Right. That's right.
and that makes people view you differently, even as a beauty standard. They can say this is the standard, but when you walk in confidently,
Mm-hmm.
that could change people's mind, even as you like go into dating and different things. I remember so many
Yep.
people saying, just be confident.
Confident.
You may not
Right.
have all of this. Maybe you don't have a big butt or you don't have a thin
Right.
waist or but confidence is what people are looking for, more so than all those particular things. So that plays a role too in viewing beauty.
Yeah. How do you think people develop that confidence?
It's hard to say. I know for me, like I said, dealing with body image coming up, I had to, one, be comfortable with my body,
Mm-hmm.
and two, I started off finding things that I liked. So it's very, very easy to focus on what you do not like. And we all have that,
Right.
especially as
Mm-hmm.
women. It's so easy
Yeah.
to be like, oh, the smallest of things. Oh, my cheekbones.
Right.
Like we're just very
Right.
like nitpicky.
Self-criticize ourselves all the time.
Yes, but find things that you like. Oh, ooh, I like my eyes, or oh, I
Yeah.
like, my arms. I like my nose. Finding those things and accentuating them and
Mm-hmm.
focusing on them is what I started to do in order to come out of that. So I would highly recommend focusing on the positive. Find what you like. What do people comment, on often? Do people say you have a beautiful
Mm-hmm.
smile? Well, just start
Right.
smiling,
Yeah. Right.
like, and accentuate those things. If it's your eyes, okay, learn how to do that makeup so those eyes pop. Like there's just different things that you can do, but ultimately it's focusing on the positive for sure.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Um, what's something society praised you for that actually had nothing to do with your real value?
Mm, so as I've gotten older, just kind of in the same vein as what we were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
I started going on my health journey. I started working out. And as a result of that, I ended up, um, I had a lot to work with anyways, but my body was like, it was bodying, right?
That's
Like
right.
I'm
Body
fit,
is
I'm
tea.
lifting weights, like I was looking good. And so I
Yeah.
did start to get like a lot of attention in that arena, like, wow, you look amazing. But it had nothing to do with who I
Do
was.
it.
And it was,
Right.
it's awesome to be disciplined and to go to the gym. And
Yeah.
that's one thing I really loved about the gym too, because the things that I didn't like my waistline, that was one thing I would go to the gym and focus on. So I'm like, you know
Mm.
what, I can change this. So I'm gonna change my
Right.
eating. I'm being at gym doing every sit up, every crunch, every ab machine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was able to focus on those things that I didn't feel as confident about because it just happened
Right.
to be things that I could go to the gym for. But yeah, so I did start to get like, some attention in that area because I was definitely posting on social media because I'm not going to
Mhm.
be at the gym at 5 a.m. and not show y'all my progress,
That's right.
But ultimately, still, thankfully, I was in a good spot. I was already like around 30. So I had my
Mm-hmm.
confidence set, I had my value set, I had my self-worth set. So it didn't impact that. But I can see how a younger girl who may have gotten
Right.
that kind of attention, it definitely would affect your self-esteem. So, you know, it's just a matter
Yeah.
of knowing what your real value lies in. Because at the end of the
Right.
day, all of this stuff changes anyways.
It
That was when
does.
I was 30. I'm about to be 35 this year. Body changing every day,
Yeah.
and I'm sure it's going to change again at 40 and so
Yep.
on and so forth. So you can't even place your value
Right.
in that because it's always changing. So just being careful to make sure your value is placed in things that really matter.
Right. Yes. Okay. How do women confuse being chosen with being valued?
This is really good. I feel like I'm saying that for every question. Such a good conversation. I know this is going to be really helpful to a lot of people. Um, so one thing about being quote unquote chosen is that it doesn't necessarily mean that you are wanted.
Right.
Because I have to make a choice out of the selections that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if all the selections are something that I don't really want, I can still make a choice out of those selections, but that's because that's what's there.
Right.
So it is important to know that you want people around you and you
Mm-hmm.
yourself want to be valued. You want to be wanted. You want to be seen. You want to be heard.
Yes.
You want to be supported. Because being chosen is just literally just a selection. And just like somebody can choose you, they can
Mm-hmm.
also choose to not choose
Choose.
you.
Right.
And what happens then if all of my value is placed in, oh, they picked me?
Right. Like a pick me.
Yeah. Want to be picked. Want to be, and you know what? And I too, I don't want to demonize wanting that because all
Yeah.
of us want
It's
to be
not a.
selected. We want
Yeah.
to be chosen. That this whole like journey of singleness and dating and now being engaged, like the internal heart desire is, I want a man to choose me. I want a man to choose
Right.
to be his wife. Like
Right.
we all want to be wanted. That's an inherent desire. So it's nothing
Mm-hmm.
wrong with it. It's just
Right.
making sure that you don't value that over someone
Verse.
who really sees you and wants you for who you are.
Right. Okay. Yep. I totally agree with that. I do. What does low self-worth look like in real life, even when someone appears confident?
Um, you know what's funny? I just had a conversation with one of, we call them our nieces, like our
Mm-hmm.
younger fans for the podcast. And she was just telling me about a dating situation where the guy kept misunderstanding what she was saying. And I remember responding to her and I was like, oh, those insecurities are speaking loud.
Yeah.
Because again, like I mentioned earlier, all of us take things that we see and hear
Mm-hmm.
and we filter them
Right.
through our own understanding, how we feel about ourselves, our previous experiences, our triggers, our traumas. And so people constantly misunderstanding, misconstruing what you're saying, um, trying to place themselves as the victim in every situation, like everybody's against them and nothing will ever
Yeah.
work because there's no way for it to, because they are just in this lot in society where nothing works for them. All of those to me are like red flags and signs that it's a low self-esteem issue that has to be
Mm-hmm.
dealt with, more so than like a personality thing. You know what I mean? So it
Mm-hmm.
definitely appears in the things that they say and do.
Yeah. What changes in your life once you truly understand your worth?
Everything. That is the easiest answer. Everything changes.
Changes.
Everything. I remember talking about how my friendships changed.
Oh my God, yes.
I have I all of my friends that I have right now are friends from adulthood. I do have, a couple of friends from my younger days, but for the
Mm-hmm.
most part, like the bulk of people that I actually talk to, hang out with, those are friends I made in adulthood and they're friends that I made after I had the confidence, I had the self-worth, I had the value. And so those relationships are so different, but they've also been so enduring because it's healthy. I'm not
Yeah.
codependent. I'm not looking for y'all to affirm me, validate me. I'm not, leaning on you too much. I know who I am. I know where to get what
Right.
I need, and so we're able to have this healthy exchange of a friendship. So friendships change. It may be your money. Like
Yeah.
you make more money when you're confident, when you know your
Mm-hmm.
worth, you're able to turn down stuff that is not of value or doesn't meet the value
Yes.
that you know that you have.
Right.
So money can change, because people want to partner with people who know what they're talking about and who look
Right.
like they have it together. Like, let's be real. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to come to somebody that don't look like they got it together and then give them some,
Right.
so your money changes, like everything changes, the way you view yourself. Again, my whole journey, like going to the gym and just being more active. I was able to be so, consistent because it stopped being about me. At first, I started going like, oh, I need to change this stuff about myself, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this. But then it
Right.
turned into, I love myself so much. I want to
That
take
you want
care
to.
of me.
Myself, right. Yeah.
I want to be healthy. I want to be strong. I want to do what I
Yeah.
want to have good heart health. I want to
Yeah.
skincare routine because I love myself so much. I want to be the best version of myself
Myself.
possible.
Right.
So yeah, every dating changes, relationships change because I know what I
Yeah.
deserve. And
Right.
ultimately, if I can't get what I deserve, I'm okay being by myself
Yeah.
because I value myself enough to know, like, I enjoy Nia.
Yeah.
Everybody will be like calling my phone trying to hang out, and I'm like, actually, I'm good at home by myself.
Right.
Like, I love her. She's great. So everything changes ultimately at the end of the day. Everything changes.
Yeah, I'm in a bit of a transitional phase. Yeah, right now. I've been on a transition. It's been ongoing.
It'll be probably
um,
forever. You always be transitioning in
yes,
some way for the
right.
rest of your life.
And I've noticed that I had to cut off some friends and just being in solitude and being by myself and stepping out of my comfort zone and just finding out what I like, what I want, and just becoming the person I want to be. And a lot has changed. And I recommend people to do that, like step out of your comfort zone and figure out what you want out of life because you only get one life
Mm-hmm.
and it's yours. So you have to make the best of it and you have to make decisions that you want, not what everybody else wants. I know a lot of times, like growing up, like we always do what our parents want us to do, but it's not their life, it's our life. So you have to do exactly what makes you happy. And I've been in this season for so long and I'm glad. And I just love everything about it. Like I love me, I love everything that I'm doing. Yeah, and I feel like before I didn't have all of this. Like I'm trying to figure out like where did this person come from, right?
You don't recognize yourself, huh?
Right. And I know a lot of people probably like, oh, what is going on with her? Mind your business, okay? But yeah, so yeah, having confidence and being in transition, it's just the best thing for you, for me. Um, yeah, and it's just a great journey. Like once you
Mhm.
start getting that wisdom and learning things more, it's just a great experience.
It should be. It is an experience. Life is to be lived. Life
Yes.
is to be lived, and there's ups and downs in that living.
Right.
There's journeys, transitions. There's just a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that happens, but it's about embracing it because it's
Yes.
yours, like you said. It's mine. I don't have to compare it to anybody else
Somebody
because
else is.
comparison is the thief of joy. It's one of my
Yes.
favorite quotes. So part of confidence too is not comparing
Comparing
whether
yourself,
it's
right.
you yourself, your life,
Mhm.
your journey, because I could look at somebody else who's 34, about to be 35, and be like, man, their life is completely different from mine. I'm off.
Mhm.
I'm off the timeline. I'm way
Yeah.
behind. And that's what a lot of us fall victim to is
Right.
comparing our lives to other people. But this is mine.
Right.
And I have my own race to run. And I got to stay in my lane because this is
That's
my
right.
race.
That's right.
Right now, I can't go into their lane because that's theirs. I'm gonna get
Exactly.
disqualified. So that too, just comparing and making sure you know, like this is your life. You can do what
Yeah.
with it
Whatever you
whatever
want.
you please.
Yeah. What did loving yourself require to you walking away from?
Mm. Um, Definitely certain relationships, whether it
Mhm.
was friendship or relationship. One thing I will say about friendships, because it can be a little intimidating to people when they hear friendships ending. But for
Yeah.
me, most of my friendships, we just naturally grew apart. And it wasn't like I had to tell them, hey, I'm not going to talk to you no more, anything like that. It's just like we just kind of naturally grew apart. I was going one way, they were going the other. So I'm on my journey of finding my worth, my confidence, my value. And it just took me in
Mhm.
a different direction.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to so much worry about that. It can be conversations that you have to have and things like that, but it could also just be a natural thing.
Yeah.
Definitely relationships that I just deserved better. And that's
Right.
just what it was. They weren't a bad person by any means, but I just deserved better. And
Better, right.
being willing to be single until I got better. You
Mhm.
know, that's where most people struggle because it's like, well, I don't want to
Yeah.
be alone. So this is what's right here. So chosen versus valued, right? I'm gonna just choose this because it's what's right here. So I definitely had to walk away from some relationships, and it took a lot. I loved, these people. I cared about them and all of that, but ultimately I had to choose myself.
Oh,
I love myself more, and I'm one who wants all that life has to offer. That is something about me that everybody who knows me know I want it all. Whatever it is, I want all of it. Whatever I need to accomplish between now and the day that I'm not here anymore, I want it. So that requires you making the sacrifices. It's sacrificing time. So there was a lot of times when I was writing those books or running my nonprofit, I can't go hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
I can't be at every event. There are certain places I can't go just because the image of me being there doesn't align with who I am and where I'm going. So sacrificing the need to be accepted, the need to be approved of by others, because people look at you up and down. Like I said, I've always struggled with that. Oh, you think you better? You think you better because you don't go here and you don't do this? No, but it just doesn't align with who I am and where I'm going in my life. So lots of sacrifices required, and they're not always easy. Not always easy. You don't want to leave those people, those places, those things behind, but it's necessary for you to move forward.
Right. I had a moment like that where being in a place that I was just like, I have outgrown this so much. What am I doing here? I need to go. So I completely understand that. Also, I feel like when we don't talk about this enough when it comes to like friendships, outgrowing them and thinking that we have to leave everything on a bad note. And I don't think people understand, like, just like you outgrew those shoes, you outgrow people. And it's okay. Sometimes it's on a good note and sometimes it's on a bad note, but as long as it's what's best for you.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, that's just life.
It's life. That's right. It don't have to be personal, because it could also go the other way. I know we talk a lot about ourselves, but there's people on the other side who they don't need to be connected to you for themselves. You're not a bad person, but where they are going is their lane and it's going in a different direction. So that's something to consider too. Just as much as you may not need to be connected to that person, they don't need to be connected to you either.
Right.
Y'all holding each other back.
Exactly. What's that movie? Oh, it's with goodness, I don't know, Matt Damon. It's like I don't know, a Justice of a Bureau, something like that, where two lovers came together and like every time they got together, life just got chaotic for them, but they were supposed to be together. And it was like the universe, not the universe, but like these little roadmaps kept saying, well, if she gets with him, she's going to like break her leg or something like that. And then he's not going to be able to run for mayor. And then it was like, why are we listening to these rules? We can do whatever we want. But I'm saying that to say, like, yes, some paths, some people are not for you and they're not supposed to be on your path because you can't take them where you got to go. And then you meet them people who are supposed to be with you on your journey. So you just, it's just a choice. You have to decide when it comes to people, are they good for me? And then they might be good for you, but just like you said, they're just not them people. You can't go where they go.
Yeah, maybe you can't go where they're going. Right.
Yeah.
It's not always a negative thing. I know we frame it as a negative thing.
Right.
It looks like we're leaving people behind and all of this negativity, but no, sometimes you can't go where they're going.
Right.
And I love that, they have a plan and a purpose for their life just as much as you do.
You do. Right. Right. We have to stop I think we take things to heart so much. I don't know why we are so sensitive sometimes, because we get so caught up in our feelings, and it's like it's not always like that. It's not about you.
Agreed.
What did becoming this version of yourself cost you, and was it worth it?
Oh yeah. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. Was it easy? No. Was it easy? All the sacrifices of time, effort, energy, the sacrifice of being accepted, the sacrifice of being validated, the sacrifice of being isolated.
Yeah.
seasons of having to be by yourself because there's just
So,
things that you got to figure out on your own. And I don't need nobody around trying to distract, trying to discourage or anything like that. All of it was worth it, but was it easy? Absolutely not.
right. Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, I'm with you. I am with you right now. I love myself so much because it's like, you know how people will say, what do you regret or what would you change about your life? And I honestly look at my life and I'm like, honestly, yeah, I made bad decisions, but that's part of life. So no, because if I did make those bad decisions, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So
Right.
every decision that I make, like I'm proud of it. I don't regret it because it taught me something. I'm learning a lesson, and then the thing is to learn from that experience and be better.
That's
So
right.
no, I don't regret anything that has happened in my life. It has made me become who I am.
That's powerful. That is powerful. That sets some people free right there.
Okay. If a woman listening is still shrinking herself, what truth does she need to hear today?
You are never too big for the rooms that you're supposed to be in. So if you feel like you need to shrink, that's not where you need to be.
That's right.
It's not you, it's
That's
them.
right. That's right. That's right. I would say love yourself more than you love somebody else.
Mm.
Because once you love yourself, everything starts to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say.
That's good.
Well, that is all the questions that I have for you today.
This was really good. I loved it.
Thank you. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Blck Impact podcast. This is Nia from Your Favorite Auntie podcast. I'm Tiffany from the Blck Impact. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe, guys. We need your support. We love your support. We love you guys. Make sure you tune in for the next episode. And thank you so much for being a part of this experience, Nia. I really appreciate you. It was such a wonderful conversation. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you again for having me. This was amazing. I can't wait for it to drop and for everyone to hear it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next episode. And make sure you tune into Your Favorite Auntie podcast.
Yes, season 8 out now.
That's right. Tune into it. All right, guys.